Hi everyone, this is Michelle Weens from Performance High, and it is time for today's Wednesday Live. I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off today and I'm late because I totally forgot to time block my day today, and now I am behind the eight ball like all day. I hate it when I don't do that. So tonight, making sure to time block tomorrow so I am on track and not running crazy. Anyway, today's topic. Today's topic is exercising in the cold. And if you've taken a look outside lately, there's snow on the ground. It was a crisp 20 degrees this morning. And when I went for my run earlier today, it was 25. And I just got to thinking, you know what? It's a perfect time to talk about exercising in the cold. It's fabulous. I love it. I think it's just the best time of year, particularly for running. Biking can be done too. And I know I mentioned swimming in my Facebook posts, but no swimming. There ain't going to be no swimming done outside right now. I'll tell you that, at least not here in Boise. So that was just I was being funny, being snarky. Okay, so let's talk running. Let's talk biking. So I think, the biggest thing to remember when you're headed out into the colds, I mean, first off, really, it is just an awesome time to be outside. I would not say that I'm a terribly great cold weather biker. I actually prefer things to be a little bit warmer, but I know plenty of people do it, so we will talk about biking. But for running, it's awesome. I mean, this time of year is my favorite time of year to run. I love it because you know what? There's nobody out there. And so like I ran out to the Greenbelt, to the dirt part of the Greenbelt today down by the river, and I ran for, I don't know, maybe 45, 50 minutes. I didn't see one other runner. I saw like two other walkers for the whole time, and it was awesome. Compare that to the summer, right? When it's like people everywhere and you're like avoiding dogs and kids and on your left, and this goes on and on like the whole time you're trying to run. So it's so nice out there right now. I mean, it's peaceful, it's crisp. You get all this like awesome cold air in your lungs, just feels like you're alive, right? So it's a great time to be out there running. But we do need to take a couple extra precautions and think about a few things when we're going out into the cold. So first off, of course, things like clothing. I mean, these are the obvious things, right? You just need to bundle up a little bit more. You need to make sure you have good clothing that fits the temperatures. Obviously with running, we always want to just sort of be conscious of the fact that we're going to get hotter as we run. So you maybe start with clothing that you're a little bit chilly, a little bit shivery when you first start out, because you will get warmer as you go. Cycling, I think, that happens to some extent, but I think we have to be a little closer in our temperature gear for cycling, because the wind chill is always an issue. And, at least me, I don't know about, maybe you guys are different, but I just never seem to get very warm when I'm cycling anyway. So being bundled up a little bit more is more important. But obviously, layers are important. You can take them off. If you get too hot, you can always get rid of your layers. Things we want to think about are extremities. So making sure that we have hands and feet and head really nice and cozy. So with running, easy, I just have my big wool gloves that I take. And sometimes when it gets really chilly, if I'm going out actually this morning, I kind of wished I would have had them. I have these over mitts. They're it's just a shell over mitt that I put over my gloves, and that keeps the wind off of them a little bit more and keeps the heat in a little bit more. And those would have been, I think, a little helpful this morning. I would have liked those at least to start. So hands nice and warm, obviously with your different kinds of layers. Your feet, another area that you kind of want to keep nice and toasty. So I had my thicker socks on today with my just regular shoes. Luckily, there was no need for things like yak tracks today. I take those and use those pretty regularly. If there's any hint of snow or ice on the surfaces that I'm going to be running on, I want to have those. And the yak tracks are just like little, they attach onto the bottom of your shoes, and they are like chains, like, you put on a car. They're like chains for your feet, and they help grip into the snow and ice just a little bit more. So it kind of prevents, the falling thing, which is not very much fun. So making sure hands and feet and head, of course, is the other big thing. You know, if your head's warm, you tend to stay warm more evenly throughout because we lose a lot of heat in our heads. So I had just my little headband thing today covering just my ears because my ears get really cold in wind. The ear canals start to ache and that doesn't feel very nice. So I had that on, but I actually wish I would have worn my wool hat. So I wish I would have covered my whole head because my head was actually cold the whole time. So I went probably a little bit too light this morning for the 25 degrees, but for the most part, it was nice. Clothing for cycling, obviously, you know, there's more specific things that you can get for cycling. The Lobster Gloves are really helpful. Those are the ones that, you know, they separate into 2 different little sections. So you have 2 fingers in one area, 2 fingers in the other. Those are really nice. They keep the fingers closer together. So the fingers tend to keep each other warm a little bit easier. Those are nice for cycling. And of course, you know, lots of things that are wind-proofed and waterproofed and all that kind of stuff can help keep the heat in. There's little skull caps that you can get to put underneath your helmets. That helps keep your head a little bit warmer. And then, of course, things like foot coverings. There's all kinds of little, you know, toe covers to whole entire foot covers that you can slide on over your shoes, your biking shoes, and still be able to clip into your pedals. Those can be really helpful to keep the winds and weather off your toes so your feet stay a little bit warmer. Here's a really ghetto way to do it, guys. I mean, I've done this before when I didn't have like little booties for cycling, is I actually took like little plastic bags and put them underneath my socks. So plastic bags, put my foot in a plastic bag, put your socks on over, I've done this for running too. Put my socks on over the top and then my shoes over that, and they actually work pretty nicely to keep your feet warm. The plastic keeps the heat in. So you don't have to go out and spend, you know, $50 or 60 or 70 or $80 or whatever it is on your foot, your little booty things. You can use plastic bags too. Just a little trick there. Let's see, what else? On the cycling side of things, you know, I guess the biggest thing, of course, is to also think about like traction and lighting. So, and running too, same thing, lighting. You want to make sure that you are easily seen. So bright colors. If you're running at all or cycling at all in dusk and or night, heaven forbid, then definitely lights everywhere. Lots of flashing lights everywhere. There's helmets now that actually have lights built into the back of them that flash. There are running vests. There are cycling vests. There are all kinds of things. There's lights that actually increase in intensity and speed of flashing as cars get closer to them. So there's all kinds of stuff out there now for being lit up, and you want to make sure that you are safe, especially if you're cycling. Make sure that you are lit well so that you are not at all overlooked out there on the road. With the lower lights that we have in the wintertime, the angle of the sun is different. It makes everything kind of like grayish and not as easily to be seen. So make sure you are well lit up like a Christmas tree so that you are not missed. So aside from clothing, then we can start talking about things like how to prepare to go outside and exercise. One of the nice things to think about is warming up inside your house. So, you know, doing your warm-ups inside keeps you nice and toasty, and of course gets your body temperature, your core temperature up so that by the time you go outside, you don't maybe start off quite so chilly. So lots of things you can do. You can do, you know, silly things like calf raises. Not silly. They're not silly. Little things like calf raises. You can do bigger things like lunges. You can do body weight squats. You can do running in place. You can do like burpee sets. You can do some modified push-ups. You can do all different kinds of different leg exercises, squat kind of exercises, lunges, etc., to just start to get the core warmed up. I think, you know, actually I think I might do a video on a indoor, like inside your house warm up for running. That actually might be a good thing to do. So it gives me an idea. I think I might do that. I like to do calf raises, 2 feet up, 1 foot down. So I'm getting my concentric and my eccentric load on those calves that gets those ankles and feet and Achilles tendons, particularly calf muscles, really warmed up. Running in colds, we can, if we're cold to start, you can have a higher predisposition for cramping and things like that. So you want to get those muscles particularly that you're using really warmed up. And it just makes your run just a little bit more enjoyable if you can be nice and toasty to start, and your bike too. So think about the major muscle groups that you're going to be using, and then find ways to warm them up ahead of time before you step outside the door. Hydration, very important. It's probably one of the last things we think about when it's cold, because we're already when you're not sweating as much and you're not, it's not hot outside, we tend not to think about drinking, but the hydration component is really important to staying warm too. So keeping that water moving and keeping yourself drinking, even if you have to set your watch on a timer to make sure that you remember to do it, super important. So clothing, of course, inside warm-ups, hydration, all good things to be thinking about. And then when you're done, when you finish your cold run and or bike, make sure you do a cool down. You can do that inside too, where you do some mobility work, some stretching, those kind of things to kind of bring everything back down to regular heart rates and body temperatures and all that kind of stuff before you jump in the shower. I know the first thing I want to do when I'm done with a run is I'm a little bit chilled all the way around, because I walk out to the start of my run, and then I walk back from the end of my run. So by the time I've done my 5-minute walk home, I'm already like chilly again. So the first thing I want to do is get in the shower, but take your time, drink your water, get rehydrated, and make sure to do those mobility exercises that your body so very much needs. All right, folks, I hope that was helpful. If you like this, please hit the like button, share it with anybody you think might benefit, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week for another live. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.